Welcome to the Queen Amina Show. A little short break for me there. It's always lovely to come to you from the comfort of my home. And today we're going to be talking about the ever raging American election that have shook the world for the past few days. And finally, there have been an elected future president that will be taking the place of the current president, Donald J. Trump. And to discuss that with me today is my dear friend and sister, Foxy Mama 360. Let me bring her up. Welcome, Lena.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Queen. Good morning, everybody. Happy 7th of what more? November day.
Yeah, happy 7th of November. Yesterday was my daughter's beautiful birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Falfa.
Birthday to her, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nina, for joining me on this show this afternoon. As you know, there's been a very rather unprecedented American election, and history finally has been made. And, when we talk of history, there are some negative histories that are being made in other parts of the world. If you're just coming on our show, I can see you guys connecting. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to the Queen Amina Show and Foxy Mama 360. She's here to help us talk about this American election. So, like I was saying, as you know, there's a lot of other negative things that are going on around the world that is equally, if not more important, because lives are, involved. There's been an earthquake in Turkey that has taking so many lives. There's a huge flood that a personal friend of mine is a victim of this horrible flood that is happening in the Philippines. Then we have the killings of innocent souls because of peaceful protest in Nigeria. Cameroon, we have children being murdered, being killed. In Congo, we have young little kids being used for slavery. And I can continue to go on and on and on. Having said that, America has spoken and America heard the voice of majority. What does that mean to the world, would you say?
Thank you so much once again, Queen, for having me. It's nice to be back on. It's been quite a little while. We haven't
I know.
had our voices heard. But it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for democracy. Congratulations to American people for having their voices heard. Congratulations to Joe Biden. Congratulations to, yeah, pretty much we have seen democracy at play. What does this mean to the world? That's the question, pretty much. It means it shows the world that where people take democracy seriously and democracy will not be subverged, or they really they have the will of the people is important, and it has to be heard, and people, and at the end of the day we actually waited for the last 4 days. We were biting our nails. Initially it was like, oh my gosh, Trump is winning. The first night Trump came out and claimed victory. We waited next day, and even Joe Biden came out and said, everybody please be patient, I know my people, I know we all want to know what's going on. By the second day, by yesterday, we saw things change. Georgia changed, Pennsylvania changed, Arizona was going down and swinging towards Trump. We waited, Nevada remained the same, So, but it's just a beautiful thing to watch democracy at play, and it tells the entire world that it can be done. America, we can always look at America. It's possible. We'll see what Donald Trump, the current president, will do about it, but hopefully he will respect the voice of the people.
I hope so. And also, not just respect the voice of the people, I hope that he would allow peace to reign by encouraging and empowering his followers to, maintain peace. Now, yeah, I know that's easier said than done, right? Well, Kamala. Let's talk a little bit about her. Kamala,
Kamala.
Kamala,
Kamala.
Kamala, anyone. Let's talk a little bit about her. Her win is not just historic, but also an encouragement and an empowerment to our young Black ladies that
Yes.
dreams and hopes can actually come true. What do you
Yeah.
have to say to that?
It's so interesting. It's historic for young black women, like us. We're looking at it and we're actually like 2020 has been quite the year. When she came up, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Joe Biden might not be there for long, and she might become the next." That Joe Biden was going to be a figurehead, which was how they put it. That pretty much Kamala was pretty much going, and they use that as a scare tactic. That a black woman was going to be the president, and I was like, okay, if a black woman is the president, is that a bad thing? So what? So there were all these dog whistles that Kamala is the one going to be ruling. It's not really Joe Biden, and I'm like, what is it a bad thing? We still haven't gotten a female president in America yet. We thought Clinton would be the first female president. That didn't happen. But now we see a woman of color. She's not only black, she's also I think her mom is from in Asian origin. So it is such a beautiful thing to see, and she knows her onions. Trust you me, she's not going to be pushed aside. She's going to be there and she's going to be honest. She's going to advise Joe Biden honestly. She's going to tell him, what she thinks. And pretty much that's what you want for a vice president. So I'm very excited to be alive at this time in my life to see Kamala, do all of this. I'm very excited. Going back to something that you said, Queen, I wanted to read this statement out. It was a statement, I think, let me see if I can find it. It was a statement by, with regards to how Trump and how they plan to cut how they intend to cut Donald Trump out of the White House if for any reason Donald Trump refused to go. So there was a statement by the Biden camp. Let me see if I can still find it. Did I send that to you?
I haven't checked, but if you have it, please read it.
Okay, just give me 1 minute. In which they were saying, because Trump has been saying, oh, he might, he might not leave, he might stay back, and all of that. Well, the Biden campaign 2 days ago came out and said, as we said on July 19th, the American people will decide this election, and they have. They now went on to say, and the United States government is perfectly capable of escorting trespassers out of the White House. Queen, how shameful is that statement?
Whoa.
They will cut him out. They will escort him, and it is kind of sad. Hopefully, Donald Trump will come out as he's saying today. He's not going to be speaking. He's going to let his lawyer speak on his behalf, which is good. It's probably the best thing. Yesterday he was tweeting up a storm and saying how, which is unfortunate, saying how the election was being stolen, how the counts was wrong. And it kind of is sad because you see, like when they were counting Ohio, in Ohio, they first of all started with counting the mail-in ballots. Now, when the mail-in ballots were counted, Joe Biden was winning. So everybody thought Ohio was going to go to Biden. Then later on, the election day ballots were counted, and then it was declared that Trump won Ohio. However, in Pennsylvania, in many of the other states, they decided to count the election day votes first. And those were the votes that were counted first. And then as the mail-in ballots came through and started being counted, you now saw Joe Biden surpass. Nobody has cheated, and it's unfair and it is wrong for democracy for Donald Trump and his cronies to go out saying, oh, election is being stolen. That is just wrong because this democracy, they fought for this democracy for over 400, 500 years. So it would be wrong for him to now say, oh, the democracy is being stolen and he was being cheated out. No.
Isn't this the kind of things you see in a third world country where America now would be sending troops to go and take care of? Like what he's accusing his own country of doing is the same fight that he would be fighting for a third world country and say, no, don't do that. So, it's just crazy to see that the president of United States, a place where democracy is highly respected, is thinking and verbalizing it that democracy is being corrupt. So it's really sad. It really.
It's really sad indeed because 4 years ago nobody thought Donald Trump was going to win, but
Mm-hmm.
when he won, Hillary Clinton came out. I've said that lots of times. She came out the very next day. She didn't, I mean, I think they only recounted in Michigan. I believe, don't hold me to that, but I believe that was the only recount, you know. But she came out and she congratulated him because you know what? She was the bigger person and she knew how important it is to have, you know, she actually even attended his inauguration. She did not go in her capacity as Hillary Clinton, the presidential nominee. She went in her capacity as a former ex-lady to Bill Clinton, but she had to be there. And in my mind, I was thinking, oh wow, that is really, really magnanimous, you know. But she said she felt bad. She was, you know, but guess what? She had to follow her pride and she stood and congratulated Donald Trump immediately. So we're really hoping that Donald Trump can also show the same level of you know, being magnanimous also and say, look, it's fair enough that if he feels that there were some voting anomalies here and there, pick your battle, but make sure you have your evidence. You know, he's saying he's going to fight, he's going to go to court. That it is your choice. If you have the money, by all means do it. You know, but I don't know how many because the thing is, the win is so like he's won Pennsylvania. Are you going to? He said he's going to challenge in Wisconsin. He's going to challenge in Georgia. So we're thinking, okay, how many places are you really going to be able to turn over? You can't turn over Arizona, Nevada. So like, and you need Pennsylvania. You need it's it's almost impossible.
Do you think that Joe Biden and Kamala is going to be able to get the sort of cooperation that they would need as Democrats, a Democratic Party, with the Republicans when they take office? Because that is going to be very, very
Very
important
important.
for
Well,
them to be able to govern.
yeah, that's a very, very important question because pretty much what happened was in under Obama, Obama's last two terms or 2 years was pretty much a lame duck because Mitch McConnell, who was the head of Senate, refused to do anything whatsoever. Even the last few years, even with the bills that they've been trying to do to give people, Mitch McConnell has blocked literally and only worked with Trump. Only, you know, when he thought it was okay. They have been hoping for this second relief bill that they've been going back and forth. Mitch McConnell doesn't, but they've said that Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden have had a kind of respectful relationship. So we're hoping that that will kind of transcend. But as it is, the Senate in the American Senate is still hanging in a balance. At the moment, it is still a 48-48. There are two Senate races that haven't been called yet, or one of them is going to go into a runoff, and that is going to be held in January on the 5th. Now, the second one is also in Georgia. It's also looking likely that it's going to be a runoff because Georgian laws expect that you have to get 50% of the vote. And at the moment, I think Purdue has 49.8 the last time we checked, but they're still expecting some more ballots to come through. So if he doesn't get up to 50%, then it's going to be another runoff. So those two Senate seats are still open. So we don't know yet. So if it still is the Senate is still open, you know, but Mitch McConnell is definitely going to be the head. We're hoping that Chuck, the Democratic leader, will come back in because if you still have Mitch McConnell, then you know that nothing is going to really happen. You know, Mitch is going to hold all the bills. They can send all the bills from the House. Once it comes to Mitch's table, he's just going to chuck it under his table. So, but
Wow.
we'll see.
It's
It's very
I'm interested in the position that Fauci is gonna take.
good job.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You know, this series of drama has not even started. This is just like the beginning because
Yep.
it's going to be unfolding episode by episode, and it's gonna be interesting to see how this incoming president and his cabinet will be able to govern and go through with their promises. With it's like you have a whip waiting for you to just say and whack. If you say
Mm-hmm.
anything, whack. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how all of this play out. So for me, I am thinking in my head, okay, how does this affect the other part of the universe? Because America is just one part of the earth, So, how do you think this whole fiasco, the election, the history, the female vice president, first of its kind in America, how does that translate to our dear old Africa? With the leaders in Africa, the position they have taken with women in leadership. How is that going to be affecting us in Africa? What do you think?
With regards to the women, for us, it's pretty much just it's symbolic that we can look at a woman and say, "Oh wow, a woman can do so much." Yeah, I mean, and now I'm going to also go. I'm going to go back to the way the crisis of the pandemic, the countries that were run by women did have done extremely well, whereas the countries that were run by men didn't do as well. So that kind of speaks a lot to having a woman in power. I don't know if in my lifetime I will ever see a woman in power in Nigeria, But I think in Liberia we've had a woman, a female president, if my memory serves me
The
right.
vice
So she,
president in Liberia is
it's probably, yeah,
Chancellor's
it's a
wife.
woman
Yeah,
as well.
she's a
Yeah. So
lady.
we've
She's
had
a
we've
lady.
had female leadership in Africa, and it just shows us that it can happen, and women should be given a voice. We are not just meant to be like Boo Boo said. We should stay in the other room. That, like, how dare you stand right? He was saying this right beside Angela Merkel. And you're looking at, like, don't you guys look at yourselves and say, call yourselves to order? You're standing right beside the German leader, who is the greatest woman leader in the world, and you're asking your wife to be in your bedroom or in the kitchen. All those things are past. Like, binders full of women is gone. Okay.
Jimmy Carter, a great guy. He sent a congratulatory message to,
Excellent.
yeah, but you see, what is going on with Bush? We didn't hear nothing from him. Maybe later
From
tonight.
who? From
Bush,
who?
George Bush.
Oh, George Bush has sent, no, his brother sent, Jeb
Yeah,
Bush sent
yeah.
a message.
The
But there
brother
have been
sent
messages
what?
coming in. Yeah, the messages are flowing in. I saw Barack Obama's message today.
Of course. That
It
would
was
be
really,
fine.
that was really, yeah. But a lot of people, I think even Mitch Romney had sent a message in as
Yes,
well. They're
I
coming
read
in.
that. Mhm.
And that means even people from the Republican Party are all also beginning to stand up and say. Initially, Fox News was still saying they were still watching, but as at the moment, they have come to realize that, okay, this is the president elect. That's
I
what if.
think it's just a mature thing to do for peace sake. When you see something that is right, just call it as it is.
Yeah,
Like, leave your differences. I always tell people, I say, can we put our differences together and still work together for the purpose of the people that you are leading? If politicians can adopt that, yeah, I don't like you, but guess what? We're working together
for
for
a
the
common good.
benefit of the people, to be a good leader for the people we are leading. If politicians all over the world can adopt that, we would have more of a peaceful kind of leadership around the world than what is happening right now. First, it was I see a lot of the black people mostly are super super excited, and I was saying to myself, why is that? First we have this wonderful lady that I don't think any other person would come through like that. Hopefully, we have more of Michelle Obama, a lady for the people. I love her so much. And now we have Kamala, so I mean, black women, this is like a huge deal for you to keep dreaming and keep pushing for your dreams and your goals and your hope. And it is clear that there is a way to get there if you work for it.
You know what I would like to actually touch on before we tune out, is the fact that black people have a lot to be proud of in this election. This The people that really carried Joe Biden to this win is
Mhm.
black people.
Wow.
There's no other way to say it, because right now the counties that have put him over and above, Pittsburgh is a black city, Philadelphia is a black city, Atlanta, Georgia, it's a black city. Savannah, Georgia, black city. Detroit, black people. So
Yeah.
pretty much the black people are speaking up, and I would like people to tune in. If you check it out, a lot of people are speaking. Black people are speaking, and they're like, "Listen, we've worked for the last 4 years. A lot of black people being, when we say Black Lives Matter, Trump never came out to say, listen, I understand you, I hear you. Instead, he kept on saying, oh, there were fine people on both sides, when the white nationalists were coming out and a lot of racial hate. He never came out to say, listen, I hear you, listen to us. And so the black people said, no, we are not going to continue to take this. We are not, I'm minding my business walking down the street, and if somebody walks up to me and asks me, why are you here? What are you doing here? I'm doing a barbecue in my place, in an open place. Why are you doing a barbecue? 911, hello. I am bird watching, minding my business. You put your dog out and you're going to start yelling, oh, 911. But, so there have been a lot of Beckys that have sprung up. And all these people have sprung up because Donald Trump has kind of given nationalists a voice. And for your federal FBI to come out and tell you that the greatest threat in America at the moment is white supremacist group, and you still are able to, you have not been able to condemn them. You tell them to stand by and stand up. You're like, really? Is this the country that we're living in? I mean, they are living in. you know.
He's
So
a he's a very, very interesting character. When you say one, you say another one. When you look at Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, he's actually not a bad person. He's a hard negotiator. I'll give him that credit. He is also a
I won't
good.
even give him that.
No, I would. Let's. Me. I
Using
like.
lawyers does not make you a hard. No, listen, he negotiated with
let me
China
let
and he
me
lost.
let me
Go for
calm down. Let me calm down. See, the thing is, what kills a man, whether president of United States or me and you, is
it.
pride and ego. Okay? When you are prideful, your good becomes bad. I think that is one of the major problem that Donald Trump had. He is very prideful. He feels like he knows everything and he has the world in his hand. So he's not taking advices from anybody. Then that killed him. Actually, Donald Trump's noise on Twitter was very good, and I'll tell you why. He brought out more people in the history of America to vote. So it was a good thing that he was throwing temper tantrum like a toddler on Twitter, because that brought out people to say, you know what, we're going to shut you up, and they did. Do I like him? Of course, I like him as a human being. Do I like him as a leader? No. What is the mind of God in all of this? I honestly haven't checked and I don't know. But one thing I want to tell everybody out there is whatever happened in America somewhat affects every part of the world. So the quicker you guys begin to unite together and praying for these leaders that are making laws for us to live by, the better we would be able to change their minds to make good laws, because me and you would be abiding by these laws that these people are making. So it's affecting us. So if you're against somebody and you don't agree with the person, and that person is in a place of position to make laws that you will live by, what would you do? You would pray that the person make good laws so that you would be a beneficiary of that good law. Anyways, I just wanted us to talk a little bit about this. I don't want to predict what I am expecting in the future during the transfer, but what's your thoughts on that one before we leave?
Well, thank you so much for having me again. Be sure to check out the Foxy Mama TV show on YouTube. My prediction will probably be, or what I hope will happen, will be Donald Trump will be gracious and he'll be sitting lame duck in the next 2 months, and begin to do some kind of handover, come to realization that it is what it is. He's had a beautiful 4 years, and then begin to prepare for what happens next if he's going to get locked up. Okay. Beyond that,
La la la
Joe
la
Biden,
la. I didn't hear that.
Joe Biden has to hit the ground running. As of yesterday, America had over 100,000. I remember when they said 50,000 COVID-19 cases, 100,000. That means that in the next 2 weeks, months, people are going to be dying. So
I
they
will
have to watch
tell
out for they have
you.
to,
I'll
this
tell you
distribution.
something about that COVID. I think on our next broadcast, I'm
Okay.
going to play you an interesting video on that.
Okay.
So, guys, stay tuned and join me and hopefully with her tomorrow, if possible, by 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to bring you guys something super interesting, rather scary on the COVID. And this is coming from a very, very reliable source. So, stay tuned, stay smiling, stay loving. Don't be a hypocrite. Bye for now.